Instead of realizing our current situation and working on a way out of it, people would rather focus on accepting their situation and adopting measures to mitigate the suffering that will never end by turning a blind eye. It's easier in the mind of people who don't want to admit their circumstances to just find a solution to adapt to their current situation rather than trying to get out of that situation, rather than finding a solution to getting out of that situation. It's because it's easier. It allows them to remain encased within their game of life. It's the comfort portion of it. They won't have to give up anything. They can just go ahead. Well, they are giving up something constantly. They are always giving up something. But they feel that if they can remain within this typical system, that they can just keep adapting over and over. As the situation gets more unbearable, they can adapt to it. Well, you get to a certain point and it's going to be too unbearable to adapt. And at that point, you don't have any more room to give in. And that's it. So there's only so much you can adapt to until it becomes completely either hazardous or deadly. And that's what people are willing to do. They're willing to go to that point. They're willing to go to the point of death to keep adapting, just so they aren't uncomfortable or unfamiliar or unaware. They want to become their own destruction. In an essence, they would rather become their own destruction than to change their way of life, to change their way of thinking, to change their foundational beliefs. That's how uncomfortable this seems to make people. And I was speaking with somebody, and I know the parasite. People talk about parasites and viruses and that sort of thing. Well, this one's a psychological parasite or virus, and it works within us. Now, I've talked about the subconsciousness. The subconsciousness is part of the system that's integrated within us. And it's part of what we allow on a daily basis to take over. When you're driving a long distance and you kind of get in the zone, or if you're working a job that you don't really have to think about, you go into autopilot. And once you go into autopilot, then something else takes over. It's the subconsciousness. And that's what we so freely hand it over. And that's part of what's in us all the time. It's like working on us and controlling us so that we don't have the ability to do or remember certain things, because it's working within us. It's like the virus or the parasite within us. And so it wants us to rely on it in order to function. And the more we rely on it, the more we don't rely on ourselves. So we're focusing on something outside of us to escape in a manner, and we accept that. But we should be in charge of our own escape and our own lucidity. We should be awake more than we are. Because when we are awake, we are lucid and we are aware. And once you become more and more aware, then you see what's going on around you. Now, it's not that you can't see it. It's that you realize it, or you will intake it, interpret it. You will dissect it. You'll begin to really understand that what's going on is not typical and not normal, and not what we want to accept, not what we have accepted, but it's something that we don't want to see. And that's why we haven't been focusing on it, because it's not comfortable. It's the uncomfortable lie. You don't want to buy into the uncomfortable lie because why? Because you don't want to see it. It's like a cycle of denial. This is what it is. Cycle of doom, cycle of denial, circle of doom, whatever you want to call it. But here we are in it. 100% in it. And yet we don't want to see it because we don't want to accept it. So what we do is we go off on tangents where, it's this thing, it's this thing. There's a billion different tangents that we can go on that will set us in all these different directions and keep, going down the rabbit hole. It's going to keep, there's just so many holes, you're just going to keep going forever. You'll never get to the end of anything, and you'll know what's going on, but you won't find any proof, because proof in itself is like truth. It's hidden between 10,000 lies. So you never find the satisfaction. I think that's the word that I need to focus on. We never find the satisfaction of getting to the bottom of anything. And even if you do find that satisfaction, then you will never be able to prove it to anybody else, no matter how much actual proof you have, because everybody is in their own cycle of lies, in their own illusion. And if they won't allow that portion to be really looked at, then their illusion will take over and it will never mean anything. So don't think that you're going to get to a certain point where you're going to be able to prove anything to anybody, because you won't. Hell, I've got the solution, and most people probably won't ever believe that. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm still moving forward on it. But that's part of the thing. Even if you give somebody a solution to their problem, it doesn't mean they're going to either look at it, follow it, believe it, or even put any thought or effort into it. So there's no awaken everybody pill. Doesn't exist. But the pill that everybody's been given is just to keep them within the illusion, just another portion of it. It's going down the rabbit hole is only going to set you in 10,000 different directions that branch off into 10,000 different directions each. It's all a game. They're keeping you into the game. It's just another version of the game. So don't believe for a minute by going down these rabbit holes or following this whole thing is going to get you anywhere. It's going to add to your confusion and add to your frustration. Stick with your path and quit trying to solve the world's problems. Begin with one thing. Stick with one thing. Focus on one thing. Focus on yourself. Because unless you're in alignment with what's really going on, it doesn't really matter. And don't worry about convincing all these people, anybody else, about what you really see, because people are all in their own bubble, in their own illusion. And your illusion isn't the same as theirs, at least from each other's perspectives. You've got a perspective, they've got a perspective. And people in general don't fucking listen. People just don't listen. Or if they do, then the illusion that they're in, or the subconscious or the system, will so easily just change their way of thinking, or they will fall back into that programming, and then things just keep on changing for them. This is so hard to put into words. I can't even find words for it. That's the hard part about it.